For those of you who are just meeting me for the first time, I want to share a little bit about my story and what inspired me to start Creative Habitat. As women, we often put everyone else's needs before our own, and if we do not make time for self-care, we can easily become depleted and unable to serve our family, friends, and clients as fully as we would like. It's somewhat like the oxygen mask on the airplane. You must put your mask on first before helping others. It's a simple concept, but much more difficult to live consistently in the busy swirl of modern living. My vision for Creative Habitat was inspired by my experience becoming a new mom. Major eye-opener as a millennial woman with an overachieving personality constantly on the go and striving for goals. Did not take long after entering motherhood for me to realize the create a plan and stick to it mindset and high expectations of myself would need to taper in order to make space for grace during this transition into parenting. I will always treasure the memories and lessons I learned during the first months of motherhood. I not only learned how to take care of and nourish my son, but also how to take care of and nourish my creative gifts, many of which I had ignored or put on the back burner for when I had more time. Well, after months of little sleep and scheduling everything around nap time, it became abundantly apparent that time is precious and limited. There are only so many minutes and so much energy in one day before exhaustion kicks in. And let me tell you, exhaustion had kicked in 24/7 for me. I didn't feel like I could serve anyone well, never mind achieve my personal and professional goals, because I was so spent. You can imagine what this lack of energy did to my lifestyle of constant striving and going. It forced me to slow down. For the first time in years, I stopped striving and simply allowed myself to be. It took time to regroup and reevaluate my goals to ensure they were in alignment with my values and priorities. After much prayer and self-reflection, I realized why I felt so depleted. Beyond the lack of sleep, which somehow we all endure and get through as new mothers, I realized my deep need for regular creative time and space to refuel. Throughout my life, I've always found joy in writing, dancing, and anything creative where I can create something from nothing. The creative process refuels my spirit and gives me energy to push through even the most challenging of days. I didn't realize how essential this creative time and space was until I didn't have it. While I had put this key need on the back burner for years, I still had a few creative outlets to plug into when time allowed, like a random dance class or a journal session. But once I became a mom, I dropped it all to pour everything into my family. Despite my good intentions and servant's heart, I had never felt so drained. My aha moment and true inspiration for Creative Habitat came one day during a walk in a nature preserve near my house. All I wanted to do was sleep, but my son was so fussy that I needed to take him on a walk, and as I pushed forward in exhaustion, I passed a sign restricting entrance to a sensitive habitat in order to protect natural resources. Suddenly, I realized I needed protected time and space to develop my natural resources, a creative habitat to develop my creative gifts. I came home that day feeling inspired and, to my surprise, energized. I knew I needed to start Creative Habitat not only to refuel myself, but also to encourage other women to carve out creative time and space to refuel as well. And thus my mission to establish Creative Habits began. Each step in the development of Creative Habitat, from writing blogs to interviewing mompreneurs and posting resources to creating this training, is all a result of the creative time and space I've learned to carve out to discover and develop my creative gifts and refuel in daily living. Since establishing Creative Habitat and committing to carve out time to develop my creative habits, I have felt refreshed, inspired, and refueled. I also feel much more energized to serve my family, friends, and clients. So not only do my creative habits refuel me, but they allow me to pour into others more fully. Please note, my life did not slow down during this time. In fact, it required more energy to keep up with my growing toddler and maintain my health while pregnant with baby number 2. The main difference is I learned how to reprioritize my time to include margin for self-care and creative habits. It is my hope the resources provided at creativehabitat.org will help you experience similar refueling results. Wishing you creative days ahead.